Hi, welcome to Korked with Kesana Francis. Our first stop is the pioneer of the Fingerlakes wine region, Dr. Konstantin Frank. Dr. Frank's Fingerlakes wine journey started in the late 1950s. Today, his great-grandchildren continues his legacy by producing award-winning wines. For my wine tasting, wine educator Alan Brand surprised me with a beautiful charcuterie board as we discussed the history of the vineyard. So come along and unwind as we discuss some fabulous wine. Wine, the passport to cultures. On my journey through the wine industry, I've learned about the multiple wine regions, different soils, and the history of the grapes. This sparked my quest to jump outside the box and show the world that wine not only pairs well with caviar, but it also pairs well with a generous serving of callaloo. Hi, I'm Kesana. Join me as I learn about different varietals and how they pair with delicious Afro-American Caribbean food. Welcome to Korked with Kesana Francis. Hi, I'm Kesana, and I am here at Dr. Konstantin Frank's Winery. I am here with
Alan Brand.
Oh,
Hi, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Alan. Alan, who is Dr. Frank?
So Dr. Frank was a pioneer. He was a scientist, a PhD in viticulture. He knew how to grow European grapevines in cold weather climates. He wrote his thesis about that. So he introduced that to the Finger Lakes. There were no European grapevines growing in the Finger Lakes before he came here. And he started a revolution in the Finger Lakes by planting European grapevines.
Oh, wow.
So they're very cold sensitive, and you have to protect them against the cold. And we insulate them with the soil that is right next to them. We move the soil up against the vines. We cover about a foot of the vine. Therefore, we insulate several buds in there. We can go to those in the spring if there's a really cold winter. You cut off the damage. The vine will resuscitate itself and you're back in business again. You lose the crop, but your vine is still there.
Your vine is still there. Oh my goodness.
So the mantra was you can't grow European grapevines in the Finger Lakes. You can only grow American vines and hybrids. And Konstantin said, no, I've been growing them in Ukraine all through the 30s and 40s. I can do that here too. And he went ahead and did that. It was a great inspiration for him. It was later in his life. He opened the winery in 1962. He was 63 years old. So he was born in 1899. 60 years after that, most people were planting European vines. And so you're getting a quality that everybody wished that they had, and now that's back again.
And
it's here.
It's because of the soil as well.
The soil is influential. We have a lot of shale and slate, so slate gives the wine a vitality, a liveliness. So we have very exciting wines.
Zestiness.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great region for that. Cold nights, warm days in the fall gives the wine a lot of vitality. So it really is amazing how the climate can bring that out in the wine.
And
so,
that's the microclimate that everyone talks about.
So yeah, the microclimate is created by the lakes. So we have these great big Finger Lakes, and they're big reservoirs of warm water, or warmth that was kept from the summertime. And so that's released all through the fall, even now. So today it's close to freezing, as you may have noticed. That was pretty cold out there. And if you go down towards the lake, it'll start getting warmer and warmer. Especially at this point in time where you have a lot of cold air, but the lake has not cooled down, so it's releasing warmth.
And that's that big lake effect.
Exactly.
For the Finger Lakes.
Exactly. If it wasn't for the lakes, we wouldn't have a really good wine region here. So this lake is 180 feet deep. Seneca Lake is more than 600 feet deep. Huge reservoir of warmth. So we have vineyards both here on Cuca Lake. And we have vineyards over on Seneca Lake. And the Seneca Lake is very desirable. Yes. It's very desirable to be on that lake because of the enormousness of that lake and the warmth that is coming off of there. The prevailing winds come from the west, and so they push the warmth up the hill and extend the growing season. So we have a shorter growing season. We start in May. California starts in March. So we're that far behind, and we have to make it up in the fall. And the lakes allow you to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, Alan, how did you get into wine? And how long have you been working at Dr. Frank's?
This is only my 22nd year.
22 years.
22 years at Dr. Frank's. Yes, there are many of us who've worked here for a long period of time, and it's a great institution to be at. It's a learning experience. I've learned so much over the last 22 years, and I thought I knew a lot about wine when I started here, but I actually knew nothing. So
from then to now, you've world of knowledge.
The wine world is so complex.
So you basically have that wine experience because you've done the groundwork.
Yes, and the wine world is influenced by the vineyard, it's influenced by the winemakers, it's by the climate. So there's so many things that go into it, so many variables. Whereas if you're making a regular drink, it's basically a predictable product that you're going to produce. And here you're working with an unpredictable product, and you have to make it work and do your magic to produce the wine. I unfortunately don't do the magic because I'm not a good winemaker. I've tried it.
But you're in sales, and that's important.
I love the wines that they produce here, and from this region.
And I see that you have some beautiful wines for me to taste today. I am so excited. And this wonderful cheese
Yes, that's a nice accompaniment. We have these cheese platters in our tasting room here. We have flights, which allow people to try 5 different wines in a nice setting like this.
This is beautiful. This is so unique.
I have an array of different types of wines for you.
I can't wait to try. This is my candy right here. This is dessert, and this is all New York State. All
New York State cheeses and product. Those work super well with the reds, our lighter reds. The Fingerlakes has a little bit lighter reds, but they're still beautiful. And for us, we have this array of wines. We have a sparkling wine program, which goes super well with cheeses. But we also talked a little bit about Caribbean food and spicy foods. And we have Riesling. On the sweeter side of Riesling is fantastic. We have another grape varietal called Arcatzatelli, an ancient Georgian grape.
Oh, Georgian grape. Oh, Alan, talk to me. Georgian grape, heavy but full-bodied.
Oh, you've had them.
I've had Georgian wine. Delicious.
Yes, they are.
And you guys have that here, which is like crazy.
Love the Eastern European grape varietals.
Wow.
So I don't have the Arcatzatelli on this flight here, but I do have this guy here, which is called Saperavi. And
I've been hearing that.
Yeah, ancient red grape varietal. I think it's a future red grape for the Fingerlakes. It does really well in the cool climate here, and it's very, very good at showing up each year. You know, it's always a good juice. It can take a hot summer. It can take a cool summer.
Okay.
Beautiful with smoky character. So you're talking a little about curries. If you have a little curry and something that was smoked a bit.
Smoked a bit, like
Saperavi might be interesting.
A brisket, a smoked brisket would be delicious with that. Oxtail and ribs. Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry, Alan. But I want this candy today. So what should I start with?
I would start at the top. And we have a bubbly sparkling wine that's made from Chardonnay.
100% Chardonnay?
Yep. And that's called Blanc de Blanc. Blanc de Blanc is totally Chardonnay. It is dry, it's toasty, it's bready.
I do smell the toasty brioche notes.
Yes.
Apples and pears.
Yes. What I tell people is whatever you're smelling is what you're smelling. You know, take it. Don't hesitate to shoot out what you think it's going to taste, what you smell, because you're usually accurate.
Very light.
Method champenoise. So it's a
champagne. So it's a Blanc de Blanc.
Yes.
Champagne method.
Yes. Bottle fermentation, tiny bubbles. It takes a long time. It's basically 3 to 5 years in the cellar. After fermentation, it rests in the cellar, and you end up with the tiny, tiny bubbles, and that allows the flavors to land on your palate differently. But these were all started by the second generation. So Konstantin worked with still wines, so no bubbles, and his son Willie started all the sparkling wines.
This is it. I want to try this.
Oh, it should be really good with, actually the meat would be very good, or take a little piece of that.
Take a little piece of the meat and try it. Oh my goodness.
Are you feeling the bubbles as well too?
The bubbles.
Yeah.
It's really not too heavy. The
Right.
bubbles are very light. Light
Exactly.
bubbles, not like a pelage bubbles. They're
Right.
very light.
So that's the magic of Méthode Champenoise is you end up with the lighter bubbles. And everything is elegant and light and easygoing. And
With the meat, it's just delicious because the saltiness from the meat,
Right.
it actually works well with the Blanc de Blanc. Oh my goodness, this is good.
Right. Now the second one here, which is the Blanc de Noir.
Okay.
And this is made with the 2 red champagne grapes. So Willie planted all 3 of the classic champagne grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. In this case, it's just the Pinot Noir, but it is a clear juice because red grapes have a green pulp and consequently a clear juice. You press them lightly, you don't get any coloration. So it allows the fruit to show. So this is going to have a little more fruit. So I would go to something that has the fruit, like the cranberries there, a little bit of that cheese and the cranberry, and also desserts.
I'm tasting like red apples, but it's white.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like those crisp red apples, but it's white. So you want me to try this with the cranberry?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get one cranberry and see. Oh wow, that's delicious.
Awesome. I like to drink champagne. I bring it to the table all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
This is delicious with the cranberry. I would have never.
It pops the flavors, the fruitiness. So the Blanc de Noir just happens to be a little more fruity than Chardonnay or the Blanc de Blanc. So it's that fruitiness works really well with the dried fruit.
Some strawberries too.
Yes. So if you had a strawberry cheesecake or something, I would highly recommend the Blanc de Noir. That would be lovely. But you can take it to other foods.
Okay, what's next for me?
All right. So we have a Pinot Gris next. So
Now, I am excited about this because Pinot Gris in the Finger Lakes, I've never heard it happening before.
Right. This is actually the oldest planting in the country, the first planting of Pinot Gris in the country. Konstantin planted Pinot Gris. But Pinot Gris does really well here. So Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio, they're the same grape. The Pinot Gris is the French style. This region actually represents the French style better.
So Pinot Gris, French style, and
So
Pinot Grigio, Italian style.
Yes. Yeah. So the French live in a little cooler climate, and so their Pinot Gris is less fruity and drier and crisp. And then the Grigios from Italy are in a hotter climate, so it brings out more of the fruit. So that's the basic difference between Pinot Gris and Pinot Grigio is fruit forward on the Grigio.
This is really good. What would I pair this with?
Pinot Gris, you could do a roast chicken. You could go to the white meats like that. Also,
Here,
you could treat it like a Pinot Noir almost. Pinot Gris gets into many of the different foods, so it's very versatile.
I want to try it with this right
As far as what we have here,
Try it
why
with-
not?
Why not? With
And that
this.
fruit there.
Yes, a lot of this
A little
fruit
jelly
here.
on there.
Oopsie, okay. Got all of it.
I think you can use your fingers.
So, Alan, let's try this. Let's see. Let's see. I brought out the apricots.
Okay, right. What I like about wine is it brings out a side of the food that you might not normally taste, and just elevates it and allows you to
This is
enjoy that.
delicious.
Yep. You know, the French will spend 2 hours on a lunch, and you sort of wonder why they're staying there for so long, but it's because they're studying that wine engagement with the food, and it's just such a unique situation where you have that ability to pull flavors with wine.
That is delicious. Okay, what's next?
All right. So we have our classic. You know, you're in the Finger Lakes, and the king European grape is Riesling.
Riesling, of course.
So it's a favorite of Konstantin's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cantaloupe, kind of. Some lime, of course, Fingerlakes in their lime. Citrus, more citrus in there as well.
Yes, there's the Rieslings can be quite citric. On the sweeter Rieslings, you'll get into mandarin orange. That's a lot of fun when you get into those citrics, and the Riesling can be, in the drier side, a little bit lemony.
Right.
Right. So lemon is a food enhancer, a taste enhancer. You put it on fish. So when you have Riesling with fish, it's going to pop those flavors too.
I was just about to say, I would love this with fish.
Yeah.
Like,
especially a light fish. So something like trout or flounder, really, really spectacular with Riesling. And if you had some almonds sprinkled onto the trout or a little bit of walnuts on the flounder and butter, the Riesling's spectacular.
let me try it with this pumpkin seeds, is it?
Sure.
The saltiness of the seed. Actually calm down the saltiness of the seed. And although the seed is a little bit creamy, it paired well with this.
Okay, interesting.
I like
You're
that.
very adventurous.
I am. I'm palate.
Now, I'm feeling like you should get into the goat cheese. So I'm curious to see what you think of the goat cheese with that date there. And actually, I think that's a fig. With the
it's a
fig
fig.
and the Riesling, because the fig and Riesling are going to be quite good together.
I would have
too.
never thought fig and Riesling.
Most fruits.
Most people tend to pair figs with red wine and not
yeah,
white.
you could do Pinot with that, yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
This would be great with like a salad, fig salad,
absolutely.
even
Yes.
sweet potatoes.
I love goat cheese in my salad. This would be perfect with the Riesling.
Sweet potatoes with this, like sweet potato
absolutely.
goat cheese
Yes.
salad. That would be delicious. Oh my gosh,
Right.
Alan, you have just exploded my mind.
That's awesome.
With all, I always say Riesling is like that party girl. Anyone will love her because she is that versatile person that can go from dry to sweet to semi-sweet. She's just that party
You're
girl. Walk
absolutely
through the door.
right. Yeah.
It's Riesling.
That's a very good description. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Delicious. Okay, now
All right.
last but not least.
I have a treat for you.
Oh,
Okay, so this is an ancient grape varietal. It's called Saperavi, S-A-P-A-R-I-R-A-V-I, Saperavi. And it comes again from the Republic of Georgia. And it's a little bit smoky.
I do smell this smoky,
Okay.
toasty.
It's a
Black
hearty,
fruits, lots of
hearty,
black fruit.
earthy red wine, but yet it doesn't have a lot of tannin. So it's very friendly, and it's a wonderful food wine. So I like to grill a lot. I do pork tenderloin that I marinate for overnight or for a couple hours, and then get the smokiness of the grill on there and have that with the Saperavi. It's unbelievable, absolutely spectacular.
It smells divine.
It's an up-and-coming grape for the Finger Lakes. I think, personally, that it's going to be a big grape varietal for the Finger Lakes. Its ability to withstand the cold and to be an effective producer.
It reminds me of like a Merlot.
Yeah, so it has the softness of a Merlot. So I always call Merlot mellow Merlot. I try and remember it that way. And so it does have that little extra sort of gentleness to it, but yet it's very rich.
It is rich and it tastes earthy. Like you can taste the soil. Definitely some black fruits there. Gosh, this is delicious.
Awesome. Yeah.
And what would I pair this wine with?
Yeah. Well, I think I would probably try that cheddar or this piece of cheddar right there.
Okay, let's
I think
try.
I'll try that. You got that? Is that good for you?
Yeah, let me try with the cheddar. And is that honey on top of the cheddar?
Yes.
I love it with the cheddar. I think the cheddar.
All right, okay.
The
We'll
cheddar.
stick with that and the honey.
And the honey. I
Yeah,
think of the cheddar and
yeah.
the honey together.
There's a lot of honey in Georgian cooking too.
Wow. Alan, thank you so much
You're
for this.
so welcome. My pleasure.
This
Thanks
was
for coming to Back to Frank's.
delicious, and happy 22 years for you.
Oh, thank you so much. And
And
you're a delight.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Alan. Rioja Crianza. Rioja is a wine region in Spain where the main grape is Tempranillo. Crianza wine must be aged in oak barrels for 6 months to a year. Flavors are dried fig, tobacco, and vanilla. Pinot Noir, the world's most popular light-bodied red wine, a food wine, also used to make champagne, and Blanc de Noir. Flavors are raspberry, cherry, and cloves. Cabernet Sauvignon, bold red wine created using Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Franc. Rich color, great structure, and full body. The flavors are black cherry, nutmeg, and black plum.
Hi, Kesana. I wanted to thank you so much for coming.
Oh, wow.
And I brought you this Blanc de Blanc.
Oh.
All right, so I want you to take it home with you and pair it with some of your favorite foods.
I will.
And maybe something like that curry we talked about, the goat curry. This would be fantastic with the spices and liveliness. Some other great foods are great with Blanc de Blanc, and roast chicken, all kinds of different things.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry already.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Alan.
It
And
was
I'll
so much
definitely,
fun.
thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Hi, and welcome to Friday Night Flights. Today, I wanted something bubbly. It's just like, I'm just extra happy. So today, I just decided to pop open Dr. Konstantin Frank's Blanc de Blanc. And I'm gonna pair it with some fried catfish. Now, let me tell y'all, I know nothing about fried catfish. I am from a Caribbean background, but I feel like because I was raised in America, I have ties to the South. I've also visited the South. A friend of mine is from Alabama. That's the deep, deep, deep South. And she talks about fried catfish and spaghetti. Now, I was like, I don't know about the spaghetti, but she also spoke about black-eyed peas. And I know for African Americans, eating black-eyed peas the first of the year is very important. In the Caribbean, well, in Antigua, my mom makes seasoned rice. In Antigua's, we make seasoned rice. Seasoned rice is rice and black-eyed peas. So that's where that Southern Caribbean tie comes in. And the South is kind of our cousins. So here we have the catfish. Now, I've never had catfish before. So I am going to try this catfish. I know it's cooked. It's actually fried in cornmeal. Similar to fried fish. Some people do fry fish in cornmeal in the Caribbean. And I have this with collard greens. And I'm guessing the collard greens has turkey. Of course, turkey back. Now, let me taste this wine. I'm so excited to taste Dr. Frank's Blanc de Blanc. I actually love Blanc de Blanc. Blanc de Blanc is 100% Chardonnay. Wait a minute, I'm not gonna taste the notes with this. This is a champagne flute. I know it's all fancy, but you know what? I'm about to really, really, really taste this. I'm gonna get a white wine glass. Look at that, beautiful. It's crisp, it's elegant. It's all the characteristics of a woman. Peach, brioche, some creamy notes, floral notes. I love Blanc de Blanc. Sometimes champagne could be a little harsh. Blanc de Blanc, because it's 100% Chardonnay, it's a little softer. Let's try this with this catfish. Now I am excited to try catfish. Like I told you, I know nothing. Don't come for me about you don't know anything about catfish. Why are you pairing catfish? Well, guess what? I'm American and I want to do it. The South needs to know that their food also pairs with wine. And why not champagne? It's a celebration, and this catfish is about to be a celebration. Oh my gosh. This is actually really good. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is actually really good. It's like the cornmeal has like a buttery coating, and the brioche of the Chardonnay, the Blanc de Blanc, it's amazing flavors. This just makes me happy. And I'm happy to pair my two worlds, being Caribbean American and champagne, Blanc de Blanc sparkling. Like I said, I grew up in a Caribbean household, but I'm basically first generation American. So this is where the two worlds come together as one. And like I said, black eyed peas is something that Antiguans make in their rice, which is called seasoned rice. And today, I think we have a winner. Guys from the South, from Alabama, wherever you are, pair some collard greens, black eyed peas, fried catfish, and Blanc de Blanc. Cheers.